any questions she has.
Have you got her cell number? I'll walk over. and
Okay,
get it to you.
thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
gotta do that. Okay, number 13. This is the Harbor money going to the, yeah, body cam deal. That's great. Anybody got any questions about that, number 13? Okay.
I just want one to watch you.
All right,
just
number
won't wanna watch
14. Number 14 is the convention, and that means Ms. Johnson is going. And she'll be our voting member. Okay?
If you don't want to go.
I think I'm gonna be in Boston.
Well, if you're not,
I'm
you
leaving
decide you want to go,
Boston
we,
at 12.
Okay.
well, you have to.
I'm checking out marijuana plants.
Okay, all right. All right, number 15. This is the event center.
I'm going to carry this over just so I can have a conversation with them and visit and talk through what they plan on doing, because we have a lot in District 3, but I'm gonna carry it over.
This is getting to be a lot of them, you're right, a lot of them. Okay, number 16.
Same thing. I'm gonna listen to what they gotta say. I'm not familiar with it.
All right, John.
Yep. All right, you.
Excuse me.
17.
Excuse me, Councilman.
I'm sorry.
On number 16,
Yes, sir.
they don't have a business license. It was brought to our attention, a flyer that went out for an event a couple of weeks ago
Okay.
at that location.
That's mine.
Forget your CC.
And advertised. It was more
Okay.
than a birthday party, right?
Yes, sir. On February 25th.
Thank you for the information.
All right.
Very good. Number 17.
That's me, Mr. President. I talked to the applicant and told him that I supported small business and guided him to the Garden District Association. I believe that they have met with him or talked with him, and the feedback that I have received overwhelmingly, because the neighborhood is right there, that they do not want a package store. So that's kind of my report. Yes, Mr. Phillips. Can Mr. Phillips come up and represent the Garden District Association?
Yeah.
Mr. President,
Fine.
come up to the mic, John.
You know we have to have a public hearing during the
Yes.
meeting.
Okay,
Sister,
all
go
right.
We can say that.
Can he say this now
He
and
can
then come?
now, but it won't reflect in the minutes unless he speaks during council meeting
Okay.
also.
John, can you speak during the council meeting, during the public?
I can do both, either, whatever you like.
Yeah, let's wait.
Just wait and do it then.
Because we have a long agenda, let's just wait until the actual meeting. Thank you, John.
Okay. All right. 18 is appointment.
Yeah, good.
Okay with that?
I'm great.
19, appointment to the Airport Authority. Got that one? Number 20, these are the appointments. This is the one that Ms. Graham wanted to do.
Yes, sir.
Is that okay? Is that
It's
all
fine.
clear?
Ms. Blaylock,
There was some question about whether or not she,
Ms. Blaylock.
The
Stacy?
authorization about appointments.
Their attorney has called, and I think I referred him to Stacy, so I don't know what's been resolved. Their attorney reached out to us. He said at this point he was just really making an inquiry more than anything about what we were doing. I told him I'd talked to Councilor Graham and asked if she'd hold it over for 2 weeks just to let me look at the information that was cited in the Housing Authority letter about an impeachment proceeding under the Constitution. I think we're legally sound based on our ordinances. I did talk to Councilor Graham. She did want to move forward with it tonight, and I have no objection with that. I'll reach out to the Housing Authority's attorney and just tell him, we'll explore it more if he wants us to, and he and I can engage, but
Okay.
I don't see a reason to
we'll
forego
go
proceeding
forward.
tonight.
We'll go forward with it.
Stacy, we don't have anything on this particular board member attendance, do it? Because I think the ordinance that Audrey was speaking of is less than 50% participation in the board meeting. So
She
Yes,
sent
sir.
us an email.
Yes, sir, it's in your package. The attendance records is in your package, and she had missed more than 50% of the
Okay.
meetings. Now, she attended some by Zoom, but you cannot vote by
Cannot
Zoom
vote,
now because
yeah.
we don't have a state of emergency.
gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. Number 21, we got 3 appointments here, back to back. the mayor, 21, 20,
What number was that? 16?
22, and 23 are all appointments to the solid waste disposal. Solid waste disposal authority. Okay. I'll get it out somehow. Yeah. And then number 24.
He,
the
Mr.
field.
President, he spoke with, Mr. Hodges, and,
Okay.
it should be clear. And if he wants to come back after this council meeting, he can, but he got his questions answered.
Okay, good deal. All right. 25, abatements. 26, tear them down. 27 abatements, okay. All right. I know, Stacy, we wanted to talk about, before we go any further, I got one other thing. I want to talk about the governor's house. I don't know we need to go in there. Do y'all, I mean, let's talk, there's nothing in there that's, on this governor's house that's, I don't know why you got to go in executive session with that.
Well, I mean, I think what I put in the email is based on the legal opinions I got from people smarter than me on real estate law, is that Cornerstone's gonna prevail. They have told our attorney they've got a buyer, that the buyer's going to renovate the property and make it into studio apartments. They reached out and wanted to try to negotiate this before they filed a lawsuit. The instruction I got was we weren't inclined to do so. We wanted to keep the property. We wanted to demolish the building. And at this point, now that there's litigation filed, I just need a consensus from the council. Do you want to keep it and fight the litigation? Or do you want to try to, and I haven't spoken to any of the attorneys on the other side or what they're willing to do, try to negotiate some terms. We will get $330,000 for the cost of redemption. And that's even if they prevail in the litigation. And what I put in the email is the only other thought I had was attempting to negotiate with them, and I told Robert, he's smarter than I am, Robert Smith, than I am on the language of this, but I'm sure there are some terms we could put in any conveyance if we're willing to forego some of the money and forego liens we have on the property that says if they don't take affirmative action that the ownership reverts to us, or we can move forward with abatement once they take ownership, just like we've done in the past. So at this point, it's just your will, what you want us to do and how you want us to handle
Let me just say this to the council. I talked to their attorney, and their attorney assures me they're for real. And I trust their attorney, Jim Edwards, with Jim Wilson Associates, and Boss Bingham, I'm sorry. Anyway, very trustworthy attorney involved, so I feel good about that. And in my opinion, we get the governor's house fixed this way, and I've been waiting 20 years on it myself. So, CC, it's your district.
Mr. President, I kind of agree with what you're saying, but I just don't, I want to see a timeline
There you
on
go.
what their plans are on the governor's house. I don't want to see 20 more years, 12 more years that we're waiting on this. We want to see something done there. We was talking about, turning it into green space because I thought that would be a better idea because for the last 12 years, no one owned it but the state of Alabama. So we bought it. Now, people coming out of the woodwork saying they want to redevelop it and do those things. If they true to the game, I'm all for it. But if you're not, we want to do what we said we was going to do in the beginning and get rid of it. So, I know I talked with Mr. President about it. I want to talk with those folks, get a timeline, because I'm going to have to deal with this 8-10 years from now. For City of Montgomery, we have to deal with the development that we're talking about doing on the Southern Boulevard and trying to reinvest in that area in order to just let that governor's house sit there as a nuisance is not something that I'm just going to easily just say I'm cool with it unless I see some type of plans.
I think you need to give them time frame like 3 months to show us plans and 6 months.
What about
to
2
turn
hours?
theirs.
2 hours.
Okay, whatever. But I think we need to make sure they're for real and
Yeah,
they
we gotta
got
make sure
something.
they're for real,
If they don't do it within 6 months, we get the money and we get the property.
Okay, and the only thing I'd ask, and this is in talking to Ms. Blaylock, is during the council meeting, you take a vote and say that's your consensus and you want me to enter into negotiations to see what they're willing to do,
Okay.
then I can do that on behalf of the city and come back to you and let you know what they are or are not willing to do. And at that juncture, we can make another
Close the deal.
decision.
All right, sounds good to me. Sounds good to you, CC?
That's good.
All right, good, okay. Okay, Ashley Gorham was gonna speak to us about the March of Dimes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, hope everyone is doing well. I'm Ashley Gorham with the March of Dimes. I'm the Donor Development Manager here in the Central Alabama area. And I'm coming to talk to you today about our March for Babies event that is coming up on Saturday, June 3rd. And we are going to hold it at the Alabama Christian Academy campus this year and hopefully walk through that neighborhood area. I actually have a meeting there this Thursday to kind of finalize the layout and the walk. But coming to y'all today to ask for your support of that campaign. March of Dimes is leading the fight for the health of all moms and babies. And unfortunately in Alabama, 1 in 8 babies are being born too soon. We know that by getting education and health care and treatments for our moms and getting them healthy before and during pregnancies, that will also help our babies be born closer to full term. So I have a little packet of information, a few little scenarios that if everyone submitted and approved 500, then we could do about a $5,000 sponsorship with the city of Montgomery. If everybody did 1,000, we could do 10,000.
Send us a solicitation and we'll email it so we'll all have something to
You want me to
respond
email instead of handing out?
I'd rather email it because we
Okay.
can respond to that.
Yeah, that'd be
I
great.
can do that, for sure.
Yeah, you can save it and give it to somebody else. Just email us. We know who you are.
Sounds good. Well, I'll do that tomorrow.
Okay. very
Thank
good.
you all.
Thank you very much. I understand there's a pickleball group here.
Yes, Mr. President, there was a cancellation on the list of speakers, and the pickleball committee would like to.
I'd like to
share
have
something.
one person come,
Yeah.
somebody talk to us about what you're doing and who you are.
Come on, Miss Jewel,
Come over here,
up
Miss
at the
Jewel.
microphone.
Because I found out there's a River Region group with 700 members, and I'm shocked.
Oh, we've got the numbers.
That's what
We know you do.
Where you
Good
playing? Where you playing at?
Good afternoon. Mr. Jenright, that's the issue. Where are we playing?
That's what we've been talking about.
I need her full
Well,
name.
I'm Jewel
Your
Pitts,
name,
for
Jewel?
those who don't know.
Your name for the record.
Jewel Pitts, she knows.
Okay,
She
yeah.
knows me well.
Okay, Jewel.
I am here on behalf of our local pickleball players. We have a small contingency, and that is just a small contingency of us. Pickleball, for those who don't know, is the fastest growing sport, not just nationally, but globally. Just about every country is getting on the bandwagon for pickleball. Now, Montgomery, unfortunately, has not one public pickleball court. That is an issue. We have, well, we've got other cities, many cities around the state that have built pickleball specific courts. Cities that are much smaller than Montgomery, population-wise, economically categorized. We are the capital city. We also have Maxwell and Gunner Air Force bases here. We have families who come through here, military-related, unmilitary-related, who are calling, emailing, contacting our local tennis pros. Where can we play pickleball? I know pickleball is not a priority for a lot of people, but I think if we want to make Montgomery truly a city of dreams, we need to get on the pickleball wagon. Prattville is renovating their Newton Park to include pickleball courts. If you're not aware, and I'm sure you are, Millbrook, Alabama has 12 pickleball courts that are about to open at their 17 Springs facility. The only place we can play pickleball here, you have to be a member of the YMCA, specifically Bell Road. That's where most of the pickleball action is. You've got pickleball courts at the local country clubs, Wind Lakes, Montgomery Country Club, Arrowhead.
Hampstead.
You have one church.
Ms. Jewell, in the Hampstead building also pickleball courts, which is
Hampstead,
good.
yes. All of these are private entities. You have to have either membership or someone has to invite you. You can't just go out and play pickleball. That's a problem, you all.
Well, we understand that. I know Mr. Carr, my Parks and Rec Department's got a location. He wanted to build a good many out on the Payne Park area in the east side of town. But y'all got 700 members?
Yes.
And where are they playing in Millbrook, or are they playing in?
They're playing wherever
Where they
they
can find.
can
If they
play.
play at the YMCA?
Be it by invitation, to any of the clubs. I personally, this is Chris Dickert, by the way. He is the liaison for the USTA, which is the United States Pickleball
Okay. Well, we're very interested in it. We just didn't know we had that many players in Montgomery. It was very good to introduce that much to the council. I didn't know we had that large group here.
Yeah, we have about 800 just on Facebook alone in River Region Pickleball Club. We probably have close to 1,500 in the area, actually.
Now, what we talk about area? Are they talking about 5
Montgomery.
counties?
No, just in Montgomery. Yeah, I hosted a tournament, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago at O'Connor, and we publicized it just on Facebook for 2 weeks, and we had 7 states show up and 212 people. Yeah, so
Well, okay.
if you look at Opelika, it's a very rural area. They opened pickleball courts for the city that's free for the public. 3 years ago, they built 12 that were covered, cost about $500,000. They paid for it in 1 year. The economic impact alone was $3 million the first year. We just had a tournament that Jewel and I both played in this past weekend. We always drive to Opelika to play. They now have 24 covered courts. It's one of the premier places in America to play. And they had 750 tournament players. This weekend alone, they projected 1.5 million in economic impact. I mean,
We
that's
understand.
it's just no-brainer.
Well, now we know who you are, where you're at.
Yeah.
We got to do something for you.
Yeah.
And I would like to just add this. I think there's a misnomer that pickleball is just for a certain group, but it's a very diverse
Group, I understand.
age-wise,
Yeah.
race, age, everything. You've
How
got
old is the oldest player you got? The oldest player?
Yeah, we've got,
I
the
don't
oldest
know.
player is 97 in the area, 97.
Right.
97 is
And
the
the
oldest
youngest
player.
player is 4.
4 years old.
Yeah.
But 97 is the oldest, okay.
And I'm sure you all probably know Dr. Buddha.
Yeah.
Dr. Buddha turned 82. He plays every single day at the Bell Road Y,
Wow.
as does his brother, who's
Okay.
still practicing. So that's just an indication
So-
of the spectrum of
How much
age.
does a court cost to build?
Now, roughly, if the area is fairly flat, it usually is about $7,000.
Per court?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it 7?
No, Mr. President, it is.
How
We looked at some
We
for,
look at it, we got, David Card's over here. I
Come
see you,
on,
David.
David.
Yeah.
He does, yeah.
We got a location we could build courts around, and we need to get them done. I mean,
Yeah,
I
we've
think
heard that.
7
about 20
times
or 25.
10.
We've heard that for about 2 years between the
So
city and
7,000.
the county.
Okay.
But we're imploring the city to jump on board, because what I know is we have the leadership here to facilitate bringing in pickleball from every city and country in the state. I mean, every state in America here. to
Believe
play.
me, we want y'all, okay?
sir, let me ask you a question, Chris. If we had a court, would you guys have enough in your 700 that would lock it up
Oh,
and
yeah.
open it every day?
Just like Opelika, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, their pickleball club is about a third of ours.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds like a winner.
And I'm a member of that club.
Yeah, we both.
Okay, thank you so much for being here.
Mr. Jenright.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Jewell, can you give them a Reader's Digest version in about a minute about the tennis side of it, the meeting that we had,
Okay.
and how dilapidated we've become at Lagoon and O'Connor? And I know we had a meeting, and that was, on a lot of people, and I think Mayor Reed's brother was at this meeting.
Right, that is correct. I understand we are actually developing a proposal for revamping of our two tennis facilities, which we do have in the city, O'Connor and Lagoon, which are both in very poor conditions. If you're not familiar, we just recently hosted
Yeah, if I can just say one thing. The beauty about pickleball is the majority of players in America, as it's continuing to grow, are older players that have the funds to travel. And they will travel everywhere, and they're the ones spending the money, and that's where the economic impact.
When ESPN started televising it, it means it's really big time.
We've actually had some players in Montgomery that were on ESPN playing.
$7,000 a court.
And Charlie, and I'm done, but let me remind y'all, we lost the baseball and softball to other cities, high school sports here in town, because we did not do what we needed to do to fix these facilities.
Exactly.
And
I
if
can
we
tell
don't
you,
fix,
if
if
you
we
put
don't fix
pickleball in
Lagoon,
Montgomery, I promise you myself, it will have some of the biggest tournaments in America.
It is a self-sustaining sport.
and if we don't fix Lagoon and O'Connor, we're gonna lose the blue-gray, which we've had for
You are absolutely right,
for
Mr.
how
Bruce.
long? How long have we had blue-gray?
Next 50 years.
60 years.
Yeah.
75
5
years.
years.
Thank
Those
you.
are the things.
Okay,
that
thank
we've
y'all
gotta
for
do
being here.
something.
Appreciate you.
Thank y'all.
And
We
thank you
understand.
for your
Yeah,
consideration.
very good. Thank
Thank you.
y'all. Okay. Council, we have nothing else on the agenda, so I'll adjourn to the 5 o'clock meeting, okay?